I met my wife in Bible school. It feels like a million years ago now, but it was only about 20. We were so young, and we were thrust into a very intensive series of situations together that I think made us feel much closer than we had any right to feel. We lived close together, we shared all of our meals together. We fell in love standing side by side washing dishes at the cook's house. But it was a forbidden love. We weren't allowed to pursue romantic relationships during our school, so while it became fairly clear that we were interested, we never acted on our feelings, we never even spoke about them. The night the program was over, I asked if she wanted to go for a walk with me. She did. 5 minutes later, on the street outside the church, I reached out and grabbed her hand, and she grabbed back. That's about the most daring thing I've ever done. I'm Nick Walton. I'm a coffee roaster, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a wee farmer, and I can't stop thinking about the invisible scripts that run our lives. You're listening to The Values Sort. This is a field guide to the values that shape the patterns of thinking and behaviors that end up shaping our entire lives. This is essay number 15, Daring. Let's get into it. I am a middle-aged dad. That's how I imagine I'll always think of myself. Father has become my calling card. It's the lens through which I see myself primarily. Husband to my wife, father to my kids. One day, God willing and the creek don't rise, I will add grandfather to that esteemed list of identities. I am no stranger to the phrase, "Get down from there, you'll hurt yourself." Each night I tell my kids to go to bed because it's, quote, damn near midnight, end quote. It's usually about 9 o'clock. Sometimes even 8:30, I do not, on the first pass, resonate with the idea of daring at this time in my life. When I think of daring, I do think a little bit more of my youth. I have done some things that seem quite stupid to me now. I had a lot less to lose back then, or at least I thought I did. When I was about 17, my friend had a little red pickup truck with a pipe rack on the back. I would routinely climb out the passenger window at highway speeds and jungle gym around like an idiot. I'd hang off the front of the rack and put my ass right down on the hood. I'd flip my head backwards so I was facing the wind as it rushed through my hair. I clearly did not die. I'm here talking to you, but it was foolhardy and maybe even daring. Outside Silverton, Oregon, there are numerous lesser-known waterfalls. Some of them fall into deep pools that I've never seen the bottom of. Some of them require strategy to jump off in order to avoid breaking all of your bones at once. Opal Pool is not for the faint of heart. I have leapt them all. Is that daring? Or is it just young? And then there was the cemetery incident. Well into my 20s, on a drive with my friends, I noticed how fresh and crispy the driveway of a certain cemetery looked. Newly paved and glassy smooth, with grassy edges at least 10 feet wide before any headstones appeared. I went home, I fetched my longboard, and determined that I would bomb that hill without bothering to change out of my sandals and light linen pants. I didn't even own a helmet. The hill hid a precipitous decline I was not prepared for. I carved the first 2 corners and felt like Tony Hawk. I fell around the 3rd bend. I mangled my arm and my legs. My friends got to see my bloody bottom cheeks because my linen pants failed me so. That's the daring of my youth. It's physical, it's adrenaline, it's often regretful. But in more recent years, I've discovered a new layer of daring. In 2008, when the market collapsed, I started a coffee shop. I didn't even have the cash. I needed a money person. I had no nickels. I paid myself $800 a month, and I had a wife and a child. It was certainly not the most wise choice of vocation, but it was, I suppose, a daring choice. And sometimes daring is thrust upon us. When my wife received a cancer diagnosis, we embarked on a very arduous journey, and we chose the path of doing it together. That required daring from both of us in order to stay in tight with one another. We faced uncertain circumstances as a couple and alone as a result of this uninvited new aspect of our lives. I do think it takes a certain daring to believe in life after proof of mortality. It takes a certain daring to remain intimately entwined with one another when it would be easier to shut down and close out. I realized then that daring doesn't have to mean climbing around the outside of a moving vehicle. It doesn't have to mean narrowly avoiding death in a cemetery just because you want to feel alive. Real daring is making choices that express your value for life, even when it's scary. I have 3 kids. That's daring in itself. They outnumber us. Sometimes it's not a choice to be daring for the sake of the thrill. It's a choice to be daring in the face of uncertainty. To stay, to build, to love people who might leave, to start a business when you're broke. I may tell my kids to get down from the ledge, but I'm still taking the leap. Just a different kind.